Hey, what's up guys, Totallydubbed here, and today I'm doing a video review for the Logitech G213 Prodigy gaming keyboard. Now this is a non-mechanical keyboard that's aimed for gamers that want to have this mechanical-esque feel, and I'll get into that in just a second with a comparison to my Logitech G710 Plus, which you can just about see on the left hand side. Yes, it's that very sexy yellow Lamborghini coloured G710 Plus. Now this keyboard can be found for £57 on Amazon.co.uk and for $70 on Amazon USA. I'll link down in the description below buy links and also the specs to Logitech's websites. So without further ado, let's get into the review. Now the keyboard is backlit with RGB keys. They're not individually lit, just a zonal RGB lighting. It's terminated by a USB cable, which has a braided cable there, which is nothing too revolutionary right there. At the top side, the top right hand side, you've got a dedicated game button, which essentially just disables the Windows key. You've got a illumination key, which if you press turns off the illumination, and then you can customize the colors through the software. And then you've got dedicated media keys, which to me are a huge plus. So you've got volume up and down, mute, play, pause, stop, and previous and next. Very useful in terms of using them. I use them on a daily basis on my actual mechanical keyboard. Now this is not a mechanical keyboard, it's a membrane keyboard, but in order to give it a mechanical feel, Logitech have gone to town with it. Now it uses quite an interesting, should I say switch, but sort of a design over here, and I'll zoom in a little closer later just to show you that, especially when it comes to my typing test, so you guys can hear how it sounds. Now it has a non-slip sort of non-slip surface over here for the wrist rest, and the wrist rest cannot be removed, so do bear that in mind. Underneath you've got keyboard risers, which open up, and the keyboard itself is extremely thin. Something that I realized versus other keyboards out there, it's actually quite thin despite its pretty big look. You've got a Logitech G logo at the top left hand side, and you've got normal LED lightings for, say, caps lock is on and off. That is the UK layout. As I said, you can find it in different layouts. Now I'm going to switch off the keys and now zoom in with my camera so you guys can see the keys a little bit better, so that I can explain it. So as you can see right there, the key has a sort of unique look to it. The actual key cap itself looks like this. You can see it's got a sort of illumination which comes straight from the middle of the stem, and if I just zoom out just a little bit more so I can try and get some focus, you can see with the keys they've got a different sort of stem, so you can't attach a Cherry MX switch to it, so you have to use the Logitech switch. Now I find this stem really sturdy, and it's very nice to use, and I don't feel like it's going to break like an MX stem would do, so that's quite nice in terms of a comparison to a genuine mechanical keyboard. So the keycaps can be removed. I removed them with a knife, but you can remove them with a key puller if you so wish, so that's just quite useful when it comes to cleaning. It's supposedly waterproof, or at least, well, waterproof, as long as you clean it quite quickly. It's not going to damage it and you unplug it. But bear that in mind versus other sort of keyboards out there. Now I'm going to do a little bit of a typing test, and what I'm going to do is leave the camera, I would say, in the middle over here, and that's my G710 Plus running MX Browns without any sort of black O-rings on it, and it's using the Max Keyboard translucent keys. So I'll type on the MX Brown, and I'll also type on that, and I want you to try and listen out for the differences. There we go. So that was a bit of a sound test for you guys in terms of my MX Brown and that. the non-mechanical keyboard. You can probably hear it sounds kind of clunky in some respects, but it does have that sort of feel of a mechanical keyboard. It's very weird to explain, but it has the sort of feel of an MX Brown. When talking to Logitech, they actually said to me that the people who designed the feel of the keyboard actually went ahead with the MX Browns in mind. So when I tested it, I felt like, oh, it feels like an MX Brown. They said to me, no, it's a non-mechanical keyboard, feels like MX Brown. So the overall typing experience is actually quite good, but it is pretty loud. Therefore, you have to bear that in mind if you're going to be in a quite quiet environment, like an office environment. If you're going to be rapidly typing off, everyone is going to hear you and you can't really reduce the sound. Whereas with the MX switch, you can always put a black O-ring under the keycap in order to reduce sort of the impact sound. So do bear that in mind if you're going to be typing a lot. In terms of typing experience, I had no problems typing. I felt that it was quite nice. In terms of gaming also, I had no problems with the anti-ghosting that is there. Well, it's anti-ghosting that's there. It feels quite good and I didn't have any problems playing Counter-Strike on it. So in that respect, I would recommend it for typing and gaming. But now, what about its actual the actual price point that it comes at? In my opinion, I feel that it comes in just a little bit too expensive. At £57, almost £58, I feel this keyboard is asking for a lot of love. And the reason I say that is because you can find mechanical keys even from Caleth, a third-party manufacturer from Cherry, or even a Cherry MX blue switch keyboard for around the same price. And that just begs the question, why would you get a non-mechanical keyboard when you could get a fully mechanical keyboard for pretty much the same price? And heck, if you're not interested in these 10 keys over here, you can go for a TKL keyboard, which costs even less. So it does beg the question at the price point it comes at. I can understand what Logitech have done and what Logitech have introduced to the market. It's a nice addition, but I just would have liked to seen it a little bit cheaper. I know it's Logitech, and I know they've got a brand recognition behind it, and it's almost like Razer. People will buy it, you know, at different price points and pay an extra premium because it's a certain branded product. But in my opinion, the market is so crowded that someone's going to be intellectual enough just to quickly do a quick search on Amazon or on Google mechanical keyboard and will come up with loads of different suggestions, including ones which either cost like £10 more or cost the same amount for a fully mechanical keyboard. So that's the problem I have with this keyboard. It's a little bit of an in-betweener. I like the feel of it, it feels like a mechanical keyboard, but its price point is a mechanical keyboard type. So in other words, what I'm asking for is that if this keyboard was £40, for example, I could see myself actively recommending it because it has this mechanical keyboard feel, but it doesn't quite go to that mechanical keyboard price level. Whereas at £57, I think it's asking for a bit too much. And even though it's only £17, £18, you'd be surprised the amount of tech you can get for that price. Heck, you could get a keyboard and you can get some earphones to go with it, and you can have a nice experience. So what I'm trying to say here, guys, I think it's just a bit overpriced. I like the product, I like the feel of it, the build quality, even though there's a little bit of keyboard flex, and even though it's a non-mechanical keyboard, which I'm a huge love of mechanical keyboards, I think it just is a little bit too expensive, be it in the UK or even the US. Anyway guys, that is my opinion of the keyboard. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Make sure you give it a like if you like this video, subscribe if you want to see more, and favourite and share if anyone was interested in buying this keyboard and or was interested in knowing about a non-mechanical keyboard. Alright guys, I've been Totally Dubbed. Take care and bye bye.